Yeah, I'm back. I Just Think Different Podcast, man. I'm your host, James. Hold on, what my stuff, man? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you know what time it is, man. I'm back in the building, man. That's what time it is, man. I'm here. I'm your host, James. This is the I Just Think Different Podcast. Welcome. I've been away for a little bit, but now I'm back, you know? And this time around, we got another installment of them 7 deadly sins. You know what I'm talking about? So today, I'm gonna get into, is it love or lust, man? You know what I'm talking about? So we go get into that. Go get into that right now. So, what I have to talk about is the love or lust. The crazy thing about that is, first of all, shout out to everybody in the building too. Shout out to everybody that's checking in on the live. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to King White, he backstage. Got Harold coming in later on, checking in. So, shout out to everybody listening, and I appreciate y'all's support. On this love or lust here, man, this is something that all of us kind of battle and deal with, right? Let me tell you how. When you have you a mate, right? When you find you a mate, special someone, whoever that may be, whoever you want to get with, whoever it is that, you know, soothe your roll oats, you know what I mean? Do you see that person as a person that you can spend the rest of your life with? Or do you just see that person for somebody I'm trying to smash and grab, meaning it's just somebody you're trying to be intimate with for one night, little one night stand, little thing, and move on? See, that's a bad mindset. You shouldn't have that. You should be looking at a person and say, oh, that's a beautiful person. They beholded my eyes and attracted me, so I want to get to know that person a little bit better. I want to get to know what this person is about, because if I just get in for this little one night, who knows what that may be. That could turn into a lot of things that I might not be prepared for or ready for. But what I don't want to do is fall into that lust. But what we do is fall into that lust, right? Because I'm trying to get my nut, right? Of course, right? But where does that come from? Who trained you to go get your nut? It's just so simple and just so easy, right? But that's just something that you should be doing. Can you pump the brakes on that for a minute? Because after you get your nut, do you think about the consequences that may happen after the fact? Like I said, there may be a child involved that may be coming after the fact. There may be an STD involved that may come behind that. You see what I'm saying? These are some of the things that could happen to you when you go out there not using the proper protection to take care of yourself, you know? And protection is another thing. See, the simple fact that you have to be protected to go into something that's supposed to be intimate when you're supposed to just be you and another. Not you and another, and then let me try it out over here, and then let me try it out over there, let me try it out over here. Nah, it's supposed to just be one locking in, because we know we locking in because we had that time to build that structure. We ain't just rush into this. We ain't just, because check it out. I know it's a lot of lusty things out there, right? Check it out. You can't just run up on somebody and just have sex with them on the street, man. That's called rape. You can't do that. So if you come in contact with this person and you can't pull all these articles of clothing off and do all that stuff, I mean, this isn't an act. This is an intent. You meant to do these things, right? So a lot of things you got to remove for that stuff to happen. And you took yourself there because it was something that you wanted from this person, instead of building the energy and having that conversation with that person to even see if when we even get there, is it worth this soul swapping? Because, oh man, because when we connect, and I give you a piece of me and you get into me, oh man, part of me leave with you and vice versa. And then check it out. So everybody that you've been dealing with and everybody that I've been dealing with, I now get a little piece of that. Now I'm somehow got to be involved with your trauma. And my trauma has become your trauma. And that's not fair, man. We don't want to do that. That's not cool. And think about how bad lust goes to a situation where you may have an addiction, man, and it's uncontrollable, you know. You don't want to hear no addiction stuff when it hit home to you. How can it hit home to you? Oh, let me give you an example. You got kids at school, and now you see some perv done got reported from watching your kid go to school. Oh yeah, it hit home. Now, you see what I'm saying? So, oh, what are you doing? Even trying to mess what? Bro, you got to go. You see what I'm saying? See how they hell. Or grandma crossing the street. You trying to get a feel on grandma. Oh, Lord. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't be doing stuff like that, man. But what you can do is if you see a child that needs some assistance, you can assist the child in the proper manner that they need assistance and try to find that child some help instead of trying to take that child or steal that child and sell that child. What happened to raising the village? You know, we was all the people in the village supposed to be raising the village, but what happened to that? See, that's the love. See that? See, it goes back to love or lust. See, it's the love you gotta have instead of chasing that lust, man. You gotta have the love instead of chasing the lust, and that's 100. So I can tell you now, from my past, I've been experiencing lust since a young age, and personally, it affected me in a lot of ways. It affected me in a lot of ways that it probably shouldn't have as a child, and I've seen and done a lot of things as a youth, as a child, that probably shouldn't have been done. So what I'm saying as an adult now, to prevent that from happening to anyone that I bring up or raise, there are certain things that will be in place and certain things that you can do necessary for a child not to go down those paths. Because even though you may set your house up properly to make sure your child is not doing anything sexual, looking at porn, or trying to do sexual things, you have to build that foundation, because a child is a sponge, so they're only going to do what they see. All right. So again, you set it up properly for them to see correctly, but what you didn't prepare for was the peers. The peers is the world. The world is going to happen. The world happens regardless of what you do. However, when the world happens, is this thing we have called a choice. See, we choose to react how we want to the world when the world gives us something we don't necessarily agree with. And the world always gives you something that you don't agree with. But hold on, when you deep rooted in God and you rolling with Him, He ain't gonna put you through nothing that you can't handle. So that little squabble that just hit you just in, you ain't have to react to it like that to get your attention. You feel me? See, but hey, we fall into it. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bait, little cat and mouse, little wrestling, little tussle. You know, it's easy. But it shouldn't. So how you prepare your kid for that? I don't know how to prepare your kid for that. I don't have no kids. But I would say when your child gets introduced to something like this, and it happens at a high rate now, you have to explain to your child the realness of importance of just sexuality in general. And what it really means. And then that's something that you shouldn't be getting involved with necessarily now. Like I said, you should be focused on playing with these toys. You know what I'm saying? And building up a young nation. That's what we're trying to build. We should be worried about being promiscuous and, let's see here, adding people to the world. Not at that point, you know. Like I said, there's some groundwork that gotta be done in there. Before the groundwork, man, you gotta see some people. Who the people you gotta see? You got to go talk to God and you got to talk to some elders. Why you got to talk to elders? Well, because elders have the time span that you need to give you a little boost and insight so you don't kind of make the same mistakes that they may have done. And you go to God because you always keep him first, and he go give you the sauce and the wisdom on where to go when you seek him first. Now, when you go out here doing your own thing, you go run into a lot of these lusty situations and it's gonna go bad for you. But if you got God in your corner, you can run into the lusty situations and still kind of come out on top. Not kind of, you will come out on top. Like David. King David, you remember King David, right? Yeah, King David, the rock slingshot, the giant Goliath, all of that. Yeah, King David. Yep. King David was the king, man, sent one of his warriors off into the war on the front line so he could sit back and kick it with his wife. Nah, man, that's so cold. So the boss sends the worker out on the block so he can mess with the workers. Girl, nah, man, we can't do that. That ain't about life, man. That's how people get killed. Messing with people's again, messing with people's significant others, man. You don't mess with somebody's wife like that. You let alone someone's, again, significant other. That's just the lines of which you could get your life took in. And you don't want that. But you can't say that to somebody. You don't know their level of that. You don't know their level of what they gonna say or do to you. That's why you gotta watch your mouth. You gotta think before you speak. You just can't be running off doing whatever you want to do, falling up under lust pretenses. What you gotta do is maintain your stability as a man. Humble yourself, be a servant, and lead. You know what I'm talking about? You don't have to be going into, because I tell you what's attractive. Attractive to the world is seeing you stand on your 1 and 2, leading people, leading others to a positive manner with no bull. It just sends a shock wave of energy around you. It's like a force field, like a magnet of energy just absorbing everybody. Everybody want to get a piece. Why? Because you flowing, you rolling. Why? You operating in your highest form. You should be. All right? But when somebody hate on, oh man, you think you, oh whoa. Now I gotta, oh. You threw me off my little thing for a minute. I was feeling myself for a second, but then you came in there and threw me off. You can't have that. That throw you off, that's the devil trying to get you to come over here to this lust side because there's a lot of money in this lust bag. It is. Strip club, oh man. Strip clubs and everything, man. The porn industry, come on now. Porn industry, crazy, and it's everywhere. But how many times have you been in one of those situations where you might have tried to record yourself and not say nothing about it and it got caught, right? Oh, man. See, you got to stay away from those recordings. Don't do nothing like that, man. You can't put yourself out there like that. Don't be in that situation like that, man. There you go. It said drop a link. Got some people ready to join up in here. So let me go ahead and set up this 4-way. I'm gonna add some people to the cast. Give me 1 second here. Boom. All right. All right. Seem to be having some old technical issues going on around here. So, since that's not working, let's throw. Okay, here we go. Maybe that's the reason why. I'm all new to this program. Give me a second. Give me a second. Boom. There we go. All right. So let me start slanging some guests up in here. All right. Boom. All right, man. We got King Y in the building. Oh,
What's
what's going
happening?
on?
What's happening? Shout out to the podcast. Shout out to the I Just Think Different podcast. My brother Cultfigga James. Shout out. It's Cultfigga King Y. Follow me.
Hey, man. What's going on, King Y? You all right?
Man, I'm feeling good. Just here to support my brother. You know what I'm saying? I shared the stream. I want everybody, I'm hoping everybody come get some of that knowledge. I'm sitting back like, God damn, boy. Go ahead, Dr. Phil. Give it, Black Dr. Phil. Give it to me, man.
All right, man. So,
That's
hey,
real.
man. Check it out, man. Tell me them times that you done ran into them lusty situations, man. I know you done been out there and you
Hey,
trying to.
I'm gonna show you something.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that. I once read a dictionary, and you probably know this. A lot of people probably don't know this. Did y'all know that love in the dictionary, if you look up the word love, lust is gonna be there. Love is lust. I didn't know that. He's smiling. I did not know that until I seen that shit in the dictionary. I said, I'll be damn, love is lust. That make perfect sense. You see, in my eyes, to love somebody, you gotta lust for them. You got to want them. Shout out to the chat room. What's up, Rod? What's up, Vegas? What's up, Tack? Mr. Expendable. Harold, I see you, Hal. Shout out to the Cultfigga that's in the chat room. We just kicking it at the I Just Think Different podcast today. Cultfigga TV done took over the I Just Think Different podcast. We in the building. But now, love is lust. And I understood that, you know what? Every woman that I ever loved in my life, I had to really lust for them. Because if I don't lust for you, I definitely don't love you. So, I done had a bunch of lustful situations, and when I'm just lusted, it don't lead nowhere to pain and suffering, because you're going to wind up. And I'm lucky to be alive, Brother James. I'm lucky to be alive because in them streets, lust can get you killed, especially if you in the game. You in a game, because you can get set up, they call it back door. Nah. Females are back door. You get you set up by your opposition. And when you in the street gang, I used to hustle. Oh, man, what? You lusting? Let a female catch you with your pants down. That's when they coming through the door. Now, you got hit because you was lusting. If you had not been lusting, it's a lot of brothers in the grave right now, James, because they just lusted, bro.
And that's one of the number one ways I feel people get killed is lust and money. But love is lust, so it's like the love of money and the love of the honey.
Look, Dave, look at what Tack said. You see that last one? That Mo 3 learned that. The Mo 3 story. I think I was just talking to somebody about that. Me and Kawana. Kawana's still in the chat room. Shout out Kawana. Yesterday she was playing Mo 3 and it hit my heart. We was talking about the brother. And I said, dang, if Mo 3 had only told that girl, hey man, meet me at a hotel. But he wasn't gonna tell her that because she had her kids. So he lusting. Like the topic say, Mo 3 lusting. So he went to her hotel. Her room, to her apartment. That cost him everything. That lust. If he didn't want to get one off that night. And I'm going to tell you this. She must have been special, man. She must have really got down. She must have really been about business in that bedroom. Because Mo 3 could have went anywhere and just got the regular. Feel me? They got off. Oh, no, he must have wanted that special. She must have do some things that Mo liked. And that's real. You got to think to yourself. He knew he was putting himself in danger. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to my brother. He wrote Fix TV in here for Cultfiggas. And shout out, brother. But Lust caught Mo 3 up. You know what I'm saying? And Lust took that Big and Pac situation to a whole nother level. Because when Pac told nigga, first off, fuck your bitch to click, you claim to be a player, but I hit your wife. It was all bets off. Big. It couldn't do nothing but heat up now. And that's when and Pac was lusting for heat, man. But what would make you think that, you know what, this the art of war? I'm going to sleep with her. Nah, nigga, you really want her anyway because you lusting. You really want, you know what I'm saying? A dirty game. We playing the game.
So how we get away from that lust? How do we raise up people that's not falling into those situations, and we can raise them up to be, real men that can actually lead a woman, you know what I'm saying, and lead his pack?
Men have not found the secret to not lusting. Women are the gatekeepers to the lust. It's not on them. It's not their fault, but they're the gatekeepers to the lust. You know what I'm saying? Men, nations have fallen behind the lust. You see what I'm saying? Empires have failed. Rome fell because they was lusting for Cleopatra. You see what I'm saying? Mark Antony and Caesar. They lusted for Cleopatra. You see, lust. You will give your birthright up. You see, and people say, what are you talking about? I'm talking about Meghan Markle and Harry. See, he lusting for her. He done gave up his chance to be king of England, bro. And what the British people are saying is, the British people saying that was lust. You feel me? You lusting for that black girl. You see what I'm saying? That brown sugar got you wanting her like that. What would you think? You think, that was lust?
Oh man, well, in that situation, it has to be, because you turn from your family and your family program to now go over here to be with this woman that you just recently met, and you deviate from your family program. It's similar to coming to America, where he denounced his he denounced himself right there. Like, yo, if being with you means I ain't gotta be king, cool. I'll not be king to be with you. I'll give up all of my riches just to be with you. So my man will risk it all, give up everything. But see, check it out. Here's the thing. So now, say that's the move. I'm rolling with you. I got my girl. I done gave up all my money. But now you pressing me that we broke. But we just had everything. So now I was in a position where I had everything, you had everything, but now you've put me in a position where now I really super gotta go out there and now get it all over again and start it from the ground up, and you on my tail about it. You see what I'm saying? Facts. Then you leave me. And then you cheat on me, because now I'm not providing a comfortable lifestyle, which we already had, but I gave that up. You know what I'm saying? I gave that up for you, but you were supposed to rock with me and ride with me, but you didn't. You really wanted the bag, and you left me. That ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? So the way you don't fall into lust is when you presented with that situation, you have to not fall into it by using your brain, not falling into that trap. That trap is an easy trap to fall into if you know what it's worth for falling into. So it's a promiscuous thing. So if you seeing something naked, does that necessarily intrigue you? Was it the first time you ever seen something like that before? It might not bother you. Just like, I don't know. But if it's something that's been forced to you, you've been seeing the action where you like, your brain recognizes when you see it, oh, I'm supposed to act this way. I'm supposed to do this. So now you're already trained to do something when you automatically see something, when you feel a certain way, when you see a certain movie, when you see a certain color, when you smell a certain scent, you're already aroused. Your brain is already going into these different places because the world has already set these things up for you to fail. But they didn't show you how not to fall into it. And the way to not fall into it is you have to educate yourself on knowing that that's not the appropriate time. I haven't built a foundation with you for us to be there. I'm not going to swap my soul with you. My soul is too important. So the answer is, you gotta value how important is your soul to you? How important is yourself to yourself? Because you're giving a part of yourself away.
Look at the example of Samson and Delilah. Just think about that story. Now here's Samson, one of the greatest warriors, one of the greatest, they tell you, of the old days, lived in the Old Testament. Well, now Samson was the strongest man. And he had a weakness that if he told that weakness, he would lose his strength. And it was a woman, Delilah, who was able to get Samson to tell about his strength. How? He never told her that at the coffee table. He never told her that one day while they was out walking. It's important you read. He never told her that while they was sitting, and he told her that when they was laying in bed. After lust. That parable is about lust. And it's telling you about the weakness. You just ask me, well, how can you? I will tell you, man has not found the answer, the solution to that one because Delilah, every day Delilah asked him, what is the secret? And then he would tell her something she would think the secret. The next day, she was like, oh, if you bound my hands, I would lose all my strength. He wake up the next morning, she done bound his hands. He bust out, oh, you lied to me. Well, if you do this, she do that. Oh, you don't really love me. How baby, how can? Okay, it's my hair. He woke up the next morning, his hair was cut. Guards! What? Oh, how could you? How could you tell her everything when she had got this is empires fall. Like I say, Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of men, nobody got tied up with Jeffrey Epstein just because he was a cool cat. They like the lust, the most powerful people in the world, the most powerful men in the world got caught in that honey trap.
But is the key element in the lust the woman?
Yes, it's the I tell you, they the gatekeeper of the lust. You can be as horny as you ever want to be. You see what I'm saying? You should all the taking and all that. I'm gonna take something from you, whatever, all that type of stuff. A woman is the gatekeeper to the action actually going all the way through. It's not their fault, but they the beginning and the end. They the creator, or the earth gives birth. So you got to understand is with them, you are lusting through the woman. Every man, when they trying to take down Dr. King, what did they tell? What did they say? A woman, Dr. King was with someone. Yeah, Dr. King, yeah, you gonna even Dr. King gonna unwind with a woman late at night. You know, who you think you are? President King. We're talking about Monica Lewinsky brought down Tricky Bill. What threw Bill Cosby in jail? What happened with R. Kelly? What brought down R. Kelly? They told you Mike was a pervert, Michael Jackson. I don't believe he was. But they're going to tell you every time, you know what I'm saying, the man is going to be tied to the lust. Where they tell you gay or you're lustful. Because they already know somewhere in you're going to fall short. You human. You're going to lust. You're going to lust. Man. But you can lust and be in love. That's what I'm going to bring you back to. You can lust but be in love. I just told you, you can love your mate and lust for her. It's the lust. I'm just saying, it's the lust you choose. You can choose that lust that's in the street that can get you killed. Get your house kicked in. While you think you getting a little shout, she gonna kick it with you. She really feel let them niggas in the house. She giving up your information while y'all coming from the club. Like Vegas say, the seduction. The seduction is the key to the love. Yes, that's the key. You know, that's the key. So it may begin and end with the female. You see what I'm saying? But then the new world will tell you no because you know everybody can do this, but everybody can't give birth in this lust thing. But it's more than a female because an animal lusts for another animal. That's why they tell you your animal passion.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So it's a primate instinct.
Yeah, because I got my dog, man, and he ain't been around no other dogs at all, except for being outside. And then all of a sudden, he just started to get his hump face and just start humping. What is that? So he ain't even been around no dog like him, no dog family, no mom, no dad, no nothing. But it's already in him to just hump, just go. And no one has taught him that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just in you. You know what I'm saying? It's in you get that rock off, apparently. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is weird. I don't know. It's a little weird. But I'll use it. They say men are dogs. They say men are dogs. And a female dog is a bitch. So, you know, if a man is a dog, wouldn't he want a bad bitch?
She say not all men.
Not all men are.
No,
but they ran with them songs like they was. Papa was a Rolling Stone and everything. They sure make a lot of money off of it. They make a lot of money off of it. Lust definitely can get you backdoored in the game. I feel like that's a prime example of how a lot of people end up losing their lives, man. You know, it's not cool. You gotta let that lust stuff go.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta let it go. You can't allow it to take over you. That's a hard thing to do. That's a hard thing to do. But if you can control it, you can, control the game, because essentially he who controls that lust controls everything, because they use that for power. P is the power, that P power. And then it's the power of the D. So they P power and D power. So if everybody talking about they got power, so if we both got power, how powerful are we together? So why aren't we continuously keeping that power that we experience together for us to move forward together? I don't want to keep doing this all over the place. I just want to do it right here and be done. I don't want to do it no more. You know what I'm saying? I'll be done with it. It's all good. But the problem comes from things that you're around. You seeing it on TV, all in the movies, all in the videos. You know what I'm saying? It be everywhere. But you don't have to fall to it. But let's say you fall to it. Let me see, let's get some ways to get up out this thing. When you fall to it, you fall in a situation you want. Baby boy was a perfect example. Yes. Mom definitely got on the wrong episode. Mom got on the wrong episode for sure. Appreciate the pull up though. Oh man. But no, but that's all how we got here though, honestly. If we can maintain just that communication that we have, that energy that brought us to one another, if we can zone in on that and key in on that and actually use that to bring us forward instead of, just trying to get my rocks off, that will be a lot better than just sitting here trying to get your rocks off. It's not always, cool to get your rocks off. It's needed sometimes. But when you marry, see, we married, see, be married to get their rocks off. I know we guilty, man. But think about it. If two virgins met each other for the first time and they married each other and had sex, what do you got? Oh man, their expectations is zero. Because the only expectations they go have is from what their peers have told them, right? When you should be experiencing this situation and this vibe with your significant other, who you supposed to be with forever, not just this one off. Let me explain some of the bad ways that this lust thing goes into effect. You falling into your lust, and then you creating these broken homes that don't have adequate parents raising children needed to produce things for us moving into the future. So if you're breaking the home up, not being a responsible parent or not being a responsible human, you can cause these different things. However, I am conscious enough to know that only God can create life. So you are putting yourself in situations where you're raising an awareness of trauma. These households are broken because of lustful things that we as adults get ourselves into that the kid didn't ask for, in other words. So we choose to go out here and say, hey, I want to do X, Y, Z and get up into this. Meanwhile, having kids already, leaving the kids behind, not taking care of them in the household. And then now we creating more kids that we can't keep up with. We creating possibly diseases that shouldn't be,
We're going.
out there. These are all caused by our own problems. However, if you married and that happens, let's just say we all locked in. Let's say we locked it in and did it all way was supposed to be the right way. However, the right way is supposed to be. Let's say we married it, we doing this. Now,
Yeah.
you still get some type of disease or something. So the world just happened to you. So now what you supposed to do, right? So you still faced with these type of situations that, boom, just occurred. And what am I supposed to do with that? I don't know what to do with that. I'm just acting because I'm living life in real time. I just wanted to go get my nut. But I should have been raising up a household. I should have been a strong example for a young person to see, hey, man, look, this is what you can be in life. This lust thing ain't nothing that you got to go towards, but it's more than just a sexual thing. Let me pull back off the sexual thing and take that and put that into another box called money and greed, just like the last subject, right? Part 2, greed. We lust for money, lustful things. Being able to consistently go after something with an attack on it, with a drooling mouth for it, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? That's not a cool thing. That's not a cool thing at all. And so how do we change that?
Yeah. Man, I appreciate you, brother, for the deep thought that you bring into the community, because we need that. We need some deep thinkers like you, because we got to tackle a situation like this. And that's why I'm here today, kicking this Cultfigga TV. That's why I'm here today, kicking it with my brother James on I Just Think Different podcast. And once again, I want to reiterate, just being honest with y'all, I don't have no idea. Like I say, I'm lucky to have, because I made all the mistakes you can, lusting out there that you can do. You see what I'm saying? But one thing I learned also, you don't mess with a man's wife. You don't do that. And my pops taught me that. That's the quickest way to get your ticket punched and get the man to kill you. But at the same time, you see, we got to understand that even though I say lust is love, you know, when you're in love with somebody, you want to lust for them, sometimes you can't have lust, because this one thing we got to understand too, through our relationships, it's all kind of things can happen between a man and a woman. And then we got to learn how to, because you stimulate each other without there being a sexual contact at times. That's another thing that a psychologist or somebody might tell you, because you never know, what'll happen. You talking about going being with somebody until they're old. Well, what happened if the man has an erection problem, or the woman goes through menopause? She might not want to have sex at the same rate that y'all may have. Now, we grown, and we're going to talk about grown folk stuff. So you got to understand, as you get old as a man, y'all ain't, hey, she turn you on, not just by the sexual things you do, but just the caring nature,
Yeah.
Can you lust for that? You see, as a young man, you understand you don't lust for a good meal and, oh, man, I love that. Oh, Lord, that right there turn you on. Or, some help, some real genuine help. So I think that to tackle that lust thing, we got to tackle it in a very deep, because it's kind of like this. When people talk about polygamy, right? And I don't hear many people talk about it, say, well, you know what, it's several different, is it okay for a man to have different wives? And I told him, I say, it's all kind of ways to mess up the thought. And just we with the carnal mind, you can't multiple wives. First they do, hell yeah, you thinking that's another way for you, but to have more opportunities to have sex, that's what you're thinking. But what you never could understand was, in ancient society, that wasn't always the case, and some societies will be. But in some of the more civilized cultures, they use polygamy, and I will say this once again, because no child would be left without a father to raise him. You had to have a male figure in the house over the child at all times, raising him. So if your brother died, you naturally would take on your brother's wife if no other male in the community stepped up to marry her. That don't mean she's a widow without a male there, just in case the robber come or anything. In this society, they'll tell you, well, a woman could do anything a man could do. That's the wrong thing. She ain't got no business fighting off a burglar. She ain't got no business making sure she heard a bump in the night. She got to get up and go see who in that living room. Now we losing our mind. No. In our ancient societies, they would say no. Every woman will be able to go into the house, and you have to be able to financially sustain that woman now. So I would say, it sounds great, but sometimes we got to think about in society. I just veered off a little bit, but we say, well, lust. When you think about the polygamy thing, I know a lot of people got that mixed up. You know what I'm saying? But in our society, it was because no child would be raised without a father, a male figure in the household, and every woman would have that together. See, the Mormons call it a sister wife, but everybody would have that community. The village. It takes a village. That's where the theory came from. It takes a village to raise a child. But see, now we have people all alone. Big mama raising all big pawpaw not around. It always gonna be a pawpaw, always gonna be an uncle, always gonna be a father. In ancient times, now they tell to each his own. So
that big mama was a big influence too. That big mama kind of held things together, but somehow Big Mama slipped away because I believe Daddy did want to stay. Big Mama slipped away because Daddy didn't stay. Daddy went out there to be a Rolling Stone and didn't hold down those values that Big Mama was putting out there.
Why? Why did Daddy do that though? Why did he go out there?
Why was Daddy so promiscuous, trying to get that bag to stay in that family? Out there working hard.
When did that start? When did that start? When did that start? Because you been a thinker, man. You knew I'm gonna just bring you up after we was free after the Civil War. I'm gonna bring you on into the 1900s. Do you think after the Civil War, you get to 1870, 1880, do you think black men were just running away from their families like that? They didn't want to stay home? What happened? What happened? When did it come? Because you get to the time of they fought in the wars in World War I and II. So I can give you a time after World War II, you get within 1950, now you get Bumpy Johnson, you get the heroin, you get the mafia, the Italian, you get them bringing in the drugs. Now you get the destabilization of the home. We can put a timeline on this because I know the black man wasn't just running out the home and just, I don't want to be there. No, it become a time to when you named it, but you didn't say the money. See what I'm saying? He had to go get the bag. He wouldn't chase the bag. I'll be back. I got to go, he go and chase the bag, working for this numbers runner, that numbers runner, this dealer, that dealer. You say you get the breaking down of the home. They weren't doing everybody, all the uncles and daddies weren't thrown in prison at that time. That came later. Now you get the father is missing. Now you get the big mama. Now you get the big mama. It wasn't now you get the big mama because now you get the pawpaw locked up, the daddy gone, the drugs, addiction, shit like that.
Why was Daddy going out there to get that bag?
Shoot, after doing we can only I can only say for sure that after the Civil War, it was no work. We became sharecroppers. I told people that was nothing but you still doing the same slavery you was doing on your plantation. What the hell is a sharecropper? That's a slave. That's what a sharecropper is. No disrespect to our elders. So you go out with the thought of I got to go get the money. This is what fathers would leave the house for days, months, weeks to go financially be able to stay care at home. But that's there you go. If you got to go, the home is already deteriorating. Because I know any child, if you don't see it, you don't believe it's a disciplinary. I got to see the discipline. I'm a bad child. I got to hear Papa's voice. I got to know he around. We go astray. I would say,
Yeah. So the women in this situation, how did that Big Mama sauce get rolled off? How come? What happened to that Big Mama residue? How come the daughters and the sons didn't carry that over and say, you know what, man? I know Mama was going through it by herself. We gotta take some accountability and hold Mama down.
Well, at that same time, I gotta tell the truth. You see, I just think different podcast. We're gonna tell the truth. The prostitution exploded at all-time high with our women. Addiction hit. A lot of the mothers became, they had to go. You know what a John is? There was a white guy who used to stop by and pick up our mothers, pick up our aunt, grandmother. You know, back in the day, they pick up these black ladies. Some of them pretend like they was going to clean house for Mr. John. Really, they wasn't. They was going to sleep with him. And the only way and it was still unpolite to be around a white man. So sometimes our elders would have to go act like they was maids. They wasn't maids. They wasn't maids. Oh, they clean the house, but they was also doing some extra things. Let me tell you something about the nature of your enemy. These people did not see those women as they see them as sexual objects. They went too far from being slaves. You think they seen them as humans? Oh no. Oh no. You know? So
lusted for the silver nut, boy. That's crazy. Because they wanted to get a piece. That's what that was that started that black you can't go back once you go black. And they want to see what it was about. And that wasn't cool to see what that was about.
They had owned them for 300 years. You see, you looking at psychologically, you looking at a man who that was still his property. They lost the war. They don't get, so they're like, okay, they lost the war. But you see their attitude towards black women right now. Men, black men try to imitate the white man. We trying to project power through their ways of projecting power. We didn't project power through the dollar. Now the dollar is the way to project. That's how you show somebody you a big shot. Yeah. You ball on them. You toss your money around. That's very immature and it's not self-sustaining. You can't sustain your wealth like that. And the Jews don't do it. You see, it's a buffoon, but it's buffoonery. But they put it on TV so you can continue doing it and throwing all your wealth away. But they buy our women. You see what I'm saying? Because if your woman if we lock our women into understanding that, you know, it's all about the bag, that's the worst thing you could ever think about, bro. You don't want your woman, you don't want your sister, you don't want your daughter, you don't want your cousin, you don't want nobody locked into the thinking that just get the bag. If that's all that matter, that's prostitution any way you look at it. Man, woman, child, anybody. It's way more to life than the bag. That's not of our nature. Just thinking about, and let me tell you something. Procreation, your intimacy, you see that it's more to it than what we think. We don't even have it all no more. We thought, because what you didn't understand was you was saving the universe. You was putting more into the universe when you bring forth another creation. You see what I'm saying? You know, but we done lost a lot of that because we, like I heard you say about porn, you know, I too had a porn problem. Porn, lust. We got, you know, you lose, and they want you to do that. They want you to do that because you become less powerful.
Think about another thing too. If you are important and your semen and sperm is important, and you going on here jacking it off, it's not going to be used in the proper sense to create an actual child that needs to be created because you sitting over here jacking them off. And maybe that's the system to keep you doing that, because if you do that, your stuff going to be too weak to actually create a child. So now by the time you get a child, your child might have something wrong with it or something, you know? And so they thinking maybe, long as we can just lower your sperm count and don't have you procreating, our job is done. And then we gonna keep setting up some clinics around the place so you can walk up in there, right? So you can walk up in there and then you can get that removed. See, we could put them directly into your neighborhoods as well, because we know y'all the ones that's going out there, you know what I'm saying, causing all these unnecessary things. So we'll drop them right off in your neighborhood, clean you up, and send you on home with a pill, and tell you have a nice day. You see what I'm saying? When I know I'm getting into a deep situation here, you know, abortion and things. You know, you can't tell nobody what to do with their body, but at the same time, yeah, you're right. I can't tell nobody what to do with their body. But you don't have to throw away a life either, man. There's adoption programs, foster programs. That person that you are housing can be the light that changes this whole game, and you just flushed it, and now we ain't got no superhero. You flushing the superheroes. And we'll never know what a superhero at because they didn't get to make it. So you understand the magnitude of, I don't have kids, but I know that energy and that feel like that's a whole life, dog. Coming into the world that you partook in. I have to represent that. I have to be there for that. I can't not be there for a child that's mine. That just doesn't make sense to me. You know? How can you not raise up something and let them know that there's a better way to do things that you've already been through when you know you've been through the BS? I'm talking about when you know people been beat up and hosed down just riding down the street. Cops may get you. Just rolling down the street, the ops might get you. Just because of your skin tone and your color, just because you open your mouth and somebody say something you don't agree with, dog, that ain't cool. Nah, that ain't the move. That ain't the move, and it shouldn't be like that. So, you know, that lust is a bad thing. You know, it all goes into them 7 deadly sins, man. I said the first edition was the pride, and then we hit you with the greed, and now I'm going with the lust. But I think after this episode, man, I think I might hold on the rest of the few for a second and chime into some other things that need to be talked about and discussed. Oh, and while I'm here, this is what is this? Women's Month. Right, so I just want to show appreciation to all the women that's doing big things, and I definitely feel like women should definitely have equal pay and equal when it comes to everything. Everybody should be on the same page, man. When you work and put your time in, not even your time, when you just work, you should be rewarded in that, and I'm with all of that. So, oh yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, you know the problem I have though with the adoption system? I have a problem with countries. Any country that had anything to do with the slave trade and the separation of generations of mothers and children, and the tearing down and the destruction of bloodlines, divine bloodlines, they should not be able to accept the same children into their system. This got to stop, because what you don't know is you feeding that pipeline. A lot of these kids, it's 300 and something million people in America. You losing hundreds of thousands of little babies every year. You don't know who has them and where they at. Your enemy has them. Your enemy are perverts. Your enemy are organ harvesters. Your enemy are doing all kind of scientific experiments with your children. So that's the problem I do have. You see, I'm like you. I don't believe in abortion. We got to raise these kids, but I'm saying that we got to have these kids. These kids cannot go into the system of white supremacy. They don't love them. They don't want them. They want to tell them that they could be anything. A boy can be a girl. A girl can be a boy. Your children in their hands don't stand a damn chance. That's true. Your children in their hand will come back and rule you. They can say, I'm black. And I think that we should just submit. That's how they talk when they've been raised by them. So I'm just saying we got to, really look into that adoption thing when we got to have these kids. They can't be going into the hand of the oppressor. That's disrespectful. It's horrible thinking like that. The kid, they got kids.
So let me ask you this. So if you had a place for kids to go, what type of thing would you have for those kids and programs would you have for those kids if they were in a building or facility that you had in your care?
Well, first, I want them to learn how to hunt, fish, gather. I want to learn how to work, learn how to read the stars. I want them to learn how to plant. I want them to learn how to actually be connected with Mother Nature. I want to learn how to go back and smell it. So they got to understand. I want them to understand that life is simple, but it's complex. But it's simple. And they got to understand that you see, one thing I respect about the Chinese and the North Korean, they don't teach their kids to worship other people. That's the first thing. You teach your kids to worship those who it look like them, so they can believe that they too can achieve things that's may have been unbelievable at one time. The worst thing you can do, man, is have our kids out here. They don't know how to shoot. They can't hunt. They can't feed themselves. We're looking at maybe a nuclear war. Our kids They lost compared to the enemy's kids. The enemy's kids, go look at the videos. Go look at the videos. They well trained. They've been waiting on a time like this. We thought the Boy Scouts were just some type of friendly. No, they've been teaching them to hell. They don't need no watch. They just look at the stars, see what time it is. Yeah. They don't need no lighter. They don't need no lighter. We need lighters. They don't need no lighter. They know how to start a fire. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I would want to teach our kids, how to survive without the gadgets that the world has provided. But and I'm talking about what man has provided, because we got to teach them how to go back into Mother Nature. What Mother Nature has gonna overcome man all the time, every day.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel there's some things different that should be instilled in little girls than little boys, or they should both be equally trained on the same thing?
Absolutely not. Little girls should never have to be worried about the defense of the nation. They should never be worried about defending the tribe. They should never be worried about things. Men have got to stand up and protect once again, and let them know they're gonna be protected. And the women have got to once again build the house. And I ain't saying be there, build it. Make sure it is a home structure. Make sure it is comfortable and that it's loving, and that it ain't so angry and hostile between the home, and that the father respects the son respects the father, the mother respects the daughter. A mother can always make that there, but the father, you can do it by giving them somebody to be proud of. You give them something to look. You see, father, you just leaving that house. One thing about my father, one thing I can be proud of him is I seen him leave and come home. That let me know, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. I never forget that. I didn't see him. He wasn't sitting around. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think the separation, we're trying to force the women, you know what I'm saying, to do things that's unbelievable at times for them to have to do. They can do amazing things, but to have to defend us from the enemy, that sometimes they have to defend us, that's disrespectful. I done seen a bunch of cowering going on in the community. A bunch of dudes behind the women. You could get a video right now. The police show up. The last people standing is the females. You better not. The dudes, they standing out silent. It's the women. They kicking. You nigga, what?
Why does it feel like it's so much? Why is it so much aggression that come out the men, but it's so much power that come out the women? It seems like the women are really more holding you down than the men really are, and the men really supposed to be out there protecting, holding down, but really it's the women.
Women are men are like nomads, like a lion, just roaming around trying to find a pride to conquer and say, I'm the ruler of this land. Women are trying to sustain the land, do the hunting, you know what I'm saying, do the real. See, men, we just wait for another man to try to come around and then get it on with him. And then like, hey, where the food, where's the, you know.
Right.
So,
but don't you feel like that's a taught behavior though? Like I said, no kid just gonna look at another kid and just be like, man, I want to rip you down. Like you're taught that, like, hey, when you see him, make it happen. You see what I'm saying? So that man got to teach the boy, you know, the proper things as well. So when he goes out there into the world, he can be officially productive.
Well, if you ain't watching Cultfigga TV, you wouldn't know that they're teaching our kids that the Ukrainian kids are heroes. They're the greatest warriors that man has ever seen. That they're defeating the mighty Russians. They're teaching our kids that we're stealing like Mike Brown, that we're bothering people like Trayvon Martin. See, shit. What was going on here?
Yeah.
It's about where the balance in the approach. You see what I'm saying? I believe, man, bro. I just believe that we got to take a different approach to even how we even look and think, and strategically. Like you be talking about strategic stuff, we got to strategically handle a lot of this stuff, bro. Serious business, man. It's about what we teaching our kids.
Yeah.
Because that's really all that matters. We got to adjust the environment. But how to survive and also how to love your brothers and sisters. That's what you got done right. We got to have some love and how to love our brothers and sisters. A lot of people don't want to love their brothers and sisters.
What's the key element in that love though? When you love, like I say, I'm gonna go and say it all the time. I can't love you if I don't love myself, man. I'm looking at myself and can't even get with it. So I don't even have the energy to put into you because I can't even put it into myself. That's a broken thing that has to be dealt with as well. We have to understand why we so broken as a people, and not loving ourselves, and not thankful that we waking up and being able to fight another day to go out here and put positive force out here and be a being reckon.
You say, what's in the love, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? The unknown, right? The unknown. See, you don't know. So I can say I love my brothers and sisters. I love y'all so much because I don't know where we're going to go with this. It's the unknown. Maybe if I get there and I don't like it, then that's when the hate start. Damn, I don't like this. But long we going somewhere, it's got to be love. It's an adventure. You see what I'm saying? So love is the unknown. You get with a woman, you get with a man, you love them because you don't know where this can go. Then y'all find out y'all really don't like each other too much. That's when the hate begins. So I say, boy, goddamn, boy, James, I'm dropping some golden stuff here today. Cultfigga TV. This is not Dr. Phil, y'all. This is Cultfigga. But it's in the unknown, bro. I would look at it like that. Like anytime you feeling groovy about a female, it's because you really don't know where it's gonna go. You're not feeling like that about her if you know that she y'all don't really fuck with each other like that.
Yeah, but it take that development and take that time again. So all of this love and lust, man, is kind of somewhat rooted in the same thing. So I feel like one of the conclusions of this is how it always is starting in that household and starting the foundation with mom and dad actually showing you what the love actually is, so you don't run towards the lust. And then later on in life, when you get a significant other, you can combine your love and intimacy and then produce more fruits than the unnecessary fruit that we seem to keep producing out here.
Yeah, but I want to know what to say about the unnecessary fruit that we keep producing. I got to watch that comment. I agree with that because we need if you're talking about the seeds.
No, I'm talking about the actions that we.
The actions, okay. See, that's why I say you know what I'm saying? Because
kid is never.
You goddamn right, because a lot of we producing hate. Because you can make them. You may do something. Hold on, brother. Go ahead and take the mic.
All right. Yeah. I see Harold, you popped in on the stream, man. You good? How you doing?
What's good, brother?
What's going on, man?
I don't know if you can hear me, man. I'm at the beach.
Man, I hear you loud and clear, man. UHD 4K, man. You ready to go?
Oh, man, you know. My apologies for being late, bro. I was at a fundraiser for the local high school. You know what I mean? You know, put our money where our mouth is. Take care of the kids. You feel me?
Oh, good, man. Glad to have you back on the show, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Happy to be here, brother.
So what we got? We got Sammy says here, the insecurities hold a lot of men back from being as great as they can be. Right. So let me get into that. Insecure. Why are men so insecure? Why are we so insecure about our things? You just got to live in your truth. And from your truth, you just got to show examples and be the light in your truth. One thing is, I can say, like I said, I don't feel like I got boobs here. You know what I'm saying? But I can't sit here and feel like that's going to destroy me or make me feel bad or feel some embarrassment. What I have to do is still live in the shell that I'm in and still produce the spirit that's in me out to the world to release the trueness of what I really am. If I'm concerned about what my shell looks like, then I can never really break through to people the way they really need to break through, because I could be on all limbs. I could be paralyzed and not be able to move. I could be mute. I could be blind. I could be deaf. And I would have to figure out how to work and maneuver through all these things, and I couldn't be able to give up. I still gotta find the way to move through. And while you going through something like that, you still want somebody there, which is that love, that support system that we all need and that we all want and that we yearn for, but we don't necessarily know how to ask for that or how to display that correctly, I feel. And we give love the way we feel like we want to give love instead of giving it the correct way, which is the God, where God is love, man. You just got to have wisdom and just be there, be a servant, and do what you can, you know. And just because you say no, yeah, no is a good thing too. Like, hey, man, everything doesn't always deserve a response as well. You know, you don't always have to respond to everything. Some things you could just remain quiet and not say anything, and you could just proceed forward with action. So we just gotta change and really become the change that we want to see, and really raise up a nation of people that are really doing positive things that we're showing them, not that we say they should be doing. Like, we can't say, I can't say don't cuss and then run off every cuss word known to man daily and then tell another person don't do it. We see it all the time. Man, don't smoke. Parents still be smoking. Don't drink, still be drinking. And we got to make a decision. Hey, man, when I get that age, or maybe even before I get that age, let me see what that bottle tastes like. Let me see. So if it wasn't in my view, possibly I might have not have done it. That's all I'm saying. That was something I learned from seeing. So if I never seen it, I wouldn't have learned it. Or I would have learned it later on when my peers hit me, and then I got to make another decision on, hey, you smoke crack? You know what I'm saying? I gotta go on a level like that. You know, gotta be aware of these type of things, man. Don't fall into nothing like that. You know, so that's that, man. So, hey, I appreciate all of y'all coming. This is James from the I Just Think Different podcast. Once again, James from the I Just Think Different podcast. I appreciate everyone in the chat, and I appreciate y'all for chiming in on a topic. I think the conclusion here is that it's definitely important to have that love over the lust, but lust always gets us into a position where it costs us a heavy consequence. So in order to not fall into the lust, we have to fall into love, and stay there and build that bond that creates the foundation in the family. We have a solid structure in the household that we can be productive citizens in our neighborhood, which represents the city over the state, and now we're turning the whole country into what we need to be. And that starts in the home, in the house, with the consistency of being there instead of giving people the BS. And since I've been giving some BS, I can come clean right now and say the simple fact that I haven't been here in 2 weeks and coming here giving this pod now, the simple fact that I came here telling everybody to just do it, I've been almost fraudulent myself, because it should have been a live pod on the road so you can get in the car like Harold is doing now. You don't stop the show, and you don't make no excuse to do what it is that you want to do and that you are placed here for, no matter what happens. Some people are going to have to be told no. That's it. Some people going to be told yes. That's it. And it's compromise in between. The thing we have to do as human beings, we have to compromise and meet people on the highest level. Never their level, just the highest level. Because when you go to their level, what that mean? Now you've broken yourself down. But it's also adapting. I can adapt to the level that you want to. Oh, let me move down here, holler at you, and let me bring you up. I can go down there and get you and bring you up. So, yeah, I can go down to your level. I can go down to the level that they on and bring them up out of that thing, because they didn't know how to get out. So we can go down there and reach them out, because they needed that light. They was down in that dark hole, man. They was in that hole, and they didn't know how to get out. So you had to be the light to lead the way. And that's what James got to say, man. So once again, I appreciate y'all for coming through the I Just Think Different podcast. Coming to kick it here with me, man. Y'all welcome to come anytime. Make sure you like and subscribe, and check out Cultfiggas.com, man. Subscribe to the channel on Cultfigga TV on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Bro. Make sure you check out my man Harold John on
That's well.
Oh man, some man went all right. There we go. Yeah, make sure you check out my man Harold John and all the guests that came up on the panel, man. I appreciate y'all, and I thank y'all. King Y, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to the podcast.
Got anything you want to say? That was it. All right, man. So Harold John, you here? You out of here? And that is it. That's that. Boom. We close that there. Bow. There we go. So, you know, in closing, you know what time it is. You know what time it is I gotta do. Big ups, man. I appreciate the love and support. Once again, this is James from I Just Think Different Podcast. You know, James, I Just Think Different Podcast. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. I'm about to go ahead and end this thing. So anything that you want to see, anything that you want to hear about, any topics or anything like that, you just drop a line. Stop by iJustThinkDifferent.com, man. You can check all out the podcasts there. You can also check on YouTube all these videos that are posted up here. I appreciate the streams from Spotify, Google, Apple Music, man. Excuse me, Apple Podcast, not Apple Music. It's Amazon Music. It's iHeartRadio. It's Pandora. We streaming everywhere, man. Hey, wherever you can hear podcasts, you can hear me, man. Go ahead and close this thing out with a prayer like I used to do, and I'm getting back to now. So, thank you, God, for allowing me to come here to be able to have my voice be heard to people across the world. I just ask that you allow your will to be done over my life, and I ask that you would just touch the hands of the viewers who've listened to this podcast, who are going to hear this podcast, and touch the hands of the people who were a part of this podcast, God. I ask that you would just strengthen our finances and strengthen our minds, our vision, and I ask that you would just strengthen the people who don't know you. I ask that you would bless my household, continue blessing us, and we're thankful for everything that you've done for us today, yesterday, and in the future. On that note, amen. I'm out of here, y'all. I'll see you next time. I Just Think Different Podcasts. Peace.